last week we were complaining that both our teams were doing crappy, and then I think they heard us
I
uh,
think they did.
and turned it around. But we're gonna start things off with your Angels being currently a game out of first.
I know. So all last week after our last podcast, like I was like, oh, these mother effers better start pulling this together. And they had a 3-game series against the Cardinals, which I was worried, even though the Cardinals are in last place right now, currently in their division,
Right,
but they're always a team that you never know. You never know.
right.
So I was worried about that, and we swept them, which was cool. And then Friday started the home series with Texas, who's currently in first place now. Um, and I was at Friday's game. It was my first game of the year, and Anderson just wasn't on point. Angels batting, like I just felt like they were swinging on a lot of pitches that they shouldn't have. Um, they did come back and win it though, and that was some bullshit because it was they tied it in the bottom of the third, or sorry, the ninth inning. They tied it. We left at the eighth inning
Right,
because I have 2 kids, so it's like 3-0. My kids are already like, Dad, this is boring, and all the other bullshit that little kids do.
right.
And I was like, I'm done. Like, if I leave, like maybe I give the Angels like to get this negative energy, my kids out of here, get this negative energy, which worked. So like I told my kids, I'm like, we're gonna have to go to the game, and you guys are gonna have to start being little shitheads. I'm gonna have to kick you out, and then they'll win.
Luis Rengifo with a swing of the bat and walk it off. And the 1-2. Out towards center field. Is it going to drop? It does! Luis Rengifo comes through in the clutch.
But anyways, they had an awesome comeback where Zach Neto scored on a pass ball because he was the runner starting at second base and got worked around.
And only one out, and Anthony Rendon a chance to walk this off and send this crowd into the night. And that one gets away! Ball game!
I was upset because I was hoping Otani would at least get on base, not and I think he got like on base because it was a they went for a double play and he made it. So it
Okay.
wasn't like he got a hit, and it wasn't like he was on like I've still yet to see Otani, like I think besides the first time I've ever saw him have a hit. So I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm jinxing Otani. But my kids have been there the whole time, so I'm gonna blame them. Uh
As you
but
should.
but last night the Angels came in, they lost after they took the first one, and now they're in the game 3, and it looks like they're gonna lose that because they're currently losing 11-7 at the bottom of the sixth.
Okay.
So so my takeaways, I feel like the Angels need some they definitely need some bullpen help. Uh Nieto, like he had an air, but he's still learning his position. You figure he got called up with April 15th.
Mm,
So but he made some good stops, but he had like one error. Uh, I think the Angels have their shortstop if this kid keeps producing the way he does. I I'm okay with him. Uh, but yeah, Rendon looks like he's finally starting to hit again. He had a home run today, but on Friday he had a nice hit. It was just a clean hit. Uh, it's one of those where you're not. I was putting the stuff on my hot dog and the onions and all that, and all of a sudden I hear it, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a nice one." And Redon's getting on first, and I was like, "All right," but yeah, that was my take. Angels, hopefully, they'll lose this one probably today, and then they'll be 2 games out, and yeah, this will either start their slide or hopefully start their just like a hiccup. But the one thing that I do want to say that it was brought up in the midweek for Angels fan was Artie Moreno, and I guess had to speak with Perry Maniason in regards to Phil Nevin. I guess Phil Nevin is trying to really analytics Nevin's approach, and that's where Nevin says to Artie Moreno some of the issues with the Angels previous week when we were complaining about it. Uh, so Artie stepped in and was like, Nevins do his job while you do your job. So I actually like that from Artie Marino because it's like, hey, you're the GM, let the manager do the managing job. Uh, the one thing I don't like about it is at Angel Stadium on Friday when they do the lineup, like, oh, here's the starting lineup. The announcer made it a point to say the lineup from your manager or the lineup from Phil Nevins, like made sure to emphasize it.
Right.
So, which I thought was chicken shit because if I picked up on it, the players are going to pick up on it. And that's when you get superstars wanting to leave when they're bullshit like that. That was my only one thing that from this week that I thought about when I was discussing this that I, I was like, whoa, that was kind of that was very
It was a
like
shock.
yeah, it wasn't like it was subtle. It was like, and the lineup from your manager, Phil Nevins, like, ooh, what?
Okay. So it seems that from your assessment, number one, the Angels will always need pitching. But
Yes.
I will say with them being now back in the race, this does dispel the Otani being traded rumors.
Yes.
I was definitely leaning 100% he's going to be traded during the All-Star break. They could still fall. I
Oh yeah.
don't know, but now I would say that the AL West is so open because the Astros just lost like 30 to 40% of their starting
Yeah.
rotation. So man, Dusty Baker has like the oddest of curses to where he just blows out pitchers. Like, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I could say like in Cincinnati and Chicago, that was him. Because he would like he's old school. So he was like,
Yeah.
I mean, y'all rolling. I'm gonna ride my horses. Here though in Houston, they're very analytics based, and it happens again, which I don't. He just has horrible luck with starters, but I mean San Francisco too, honestly, because he blew out Jason Schmidt, he blew out Russell Ortiz towards the end. It's just wow, he has bad history with that, but Texas Degrom is their horse, and he's we don't even know at this point still.
He's injured, like I said. Like I was
Right.
like, he's either going to be injured or he's going to be lights out. And right now, it looks like the Texas has the goose egg on this one.
So as long as you guys tread water, I will say that I think, and this is just me throwing it out here now, you guys still have Joe Adell. I think he's going to be a very interesting trade chip, especially for teams that either want to take a flyer on someone that could be definitely a game changer coming down the stretch, or if you're just a lower level team thinking, okay, we're kind of in a rebuilding process. Let's see if we can fix this guy and
Yeah.
get him to the prominence that he should be having. Because I look at a team like, of course, I'm always going to look at the Dodgers because that's an Andrew Friedman specialty. We'll take your top prospect or person that you guys have given up on, and we'll fix him and make him something. But also, I look at a team like the Diamondbacks. Joe Adell and the Diamondbacks makes Diamondbacks even more interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like they might be able to kind of turn his career around a little bit. But he's definitely a trade chip that you guys could use for some pitching. It just depends on who's going to be available.